All right, hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York right there. Hello,
How's it
Jake.
going? Hey.
And I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. Jake, lots to talk about. What do you want to start first?
Whatever you do, man, the floor is yours. I will defer the kickoff.
All right. Well,
we could do your TikTok video.
Well,
Sorry,
we were talking about me right before it started. I don't have it up. I made the news. I was in the news. It was picked up by the Daily Dot wrote it, and it was picked up by Apple News, which is where my friend found it. I had a TikTok go viral last week, and I became the most hated man on TikTok. I could show you. I have the video has 3,000 comments waiting in queue. They just all call me a douchebag. They're all like, fuck you. I hope you get divorced. I hope your wife leaves you. It's insane. And
I love how that, because dude, I kind of took her side with it a little bit, but like,
well, yeah,
I hope your wife leaves you over a can of pumpkin bars. Dude, like you're getting the kids, the house, and all of that. If she goes to court going, Your Honor, I told him we were going to make pumpkin bars. He comes back from the store with the flour, the sugar, the eggs, zero pumpkin. How can I stay married to a monster like this? Like, you know what I mean? I don't care if her divorce lawyer is Johnny Cochran from Beyond the Grave. If she divorces you over the pumpkin bars, which again, I think the polite thing to do would have been to turn around and go back. Hey, it said, you know, it's a bit much. And anyway, I'm stepping on you. Go ahead.
No. Here, my favorite part of this whole thing is I've posted videos online before. I've posted over 700 of them, and I've figured out humanity fairly well. And I post what's called a description to every video. When I post a video, it says, hey, here's what this video about. And this video literally says, hey, I love my wife. This wasn't a big deal. I'm pretending to be angry. Because I did it on stage and people laughed. I did this joke on stage in front of people like, and then she tries to get me to go to the store, wacky. And they all laughed because men and women, and it's not just people in relationships, they tend to get on one of those nerves, and you have little moments and then you move on with your life. And so I put it in the description. I love my wife. This was all a big nothing. I'm pretending to be angry here. And people fucking treat it as if it's the most real thing ever. Yeah, dude, my favorite part is this is where I actively think, from the comments I am seeing on it, I think people think that I am hurt by them, that when they say fuck you, you're a piece of shit, that I'm sitting at home in the basement going, oh, because there are a lot of comments like that I'm not laughing over it, that I don't think it's the funniest fucking thing ever, that all these losers are upset with me because
sure. Yeah, no, I mean, here's my thing is the lady who reposted, at least the one I watched, she started off by saying, I said the other day to stay away from men who try to teach you lessons, right? And men would stop trying to teach you things if you weren't so fucking dumb. Okay, lady, like that's just for you personally posing. I mean, I don't want to teach women lessons that I'm dating. But if they were as ass backwards at things as you, like maybe it's you. If it's just like, and this man tried to teach me stuff, and this man tried to teach me stuff, and yet a third one in a row. Oh my God, a hat trick of men who telling me I'm doing things wrong. You know, like maybe it's you. That said, she already is starting with women. This is a thing men do. Whereas, so she's already not taking like an honest side in the argument, so to speak.
Men and women both do things to annoy one another in relationships.
What I'm saying is I would be willing to bet anything if you were, let's flip it. You've transitioned. You're now Nathan Tina, and you know, like you're married to a husband or whatever, and you come back with no pumpkin, you know, and you're like, I got everything on the list. And guy gets mad that you didn't get pumpkin. She's like, hey, why, if a man is sending you to the store, first off, why didn't he go to the store to get it? Second, Why is she getting mad at you for not buying things on the list that he didn't put on the list? Like, she would do that if it was the other, like, you flip gender, she's flipping fucking sides. She is okay, admittedly, a lot of times I'm a Lions fan, but sometimes I'll be home watching the kid and I can't watch it live. So I'll be listening to the game. I'm listening, okay? I can't see it. They would call a penalty on the Detroit Lions. I'm like, bullshit, it wasn't a penalty. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I just heard that there was a penalty. And already I'm like, no, it wasn't, dude. No, it wasn't. No, he was inbounds. I can't see the game. I can't see the game. And I'm insisting for about a second and a half that it's a bad call. That's you, lady. That's you. You're looking at the Y chromosome and you're going, I'm Team X chromosome. Therefore, even if I'm listening to this fucking game on earbuds through the Sirius XM app, I'll give a little plug there. Like I do, you're just going with your team in assuming that the refs fuck them over, even though you have no idea what the hell just happened.
And two, I'm not sure what lesson I'm teaching. Like I don't get the idea. Like, he's trying to teach her a lesson. What's the lesson? I was genuinely like, I don't know if I should buy this or not. I don't want to fucking buy it. Now I'm on my way home. Now I just want to come fucking home. I don't get where I'm teaching her a lesson, but I know nothing about this woman. The only thing I'm going to say about her is she seems kind of young to be giving relationship advice.
I didn't think that young. I was going to say more dumb than young, but it's actually kind of nice of you. If anything, I think she's got some crow's feet and she's not intelligent. But yeah, I mean, so I was thinking opposite, but
she's going to do one about you and she's going to get the whole internet after you next.
Oh, fuck them. You're hey, let me hang on. Let me come out here with a wig and a bra and you'll fucking take my side for anything, won't you? You fans of this lady, you suck.
Oh, yeah. To me, it's so amusing. Another part of it is everybody. I shouldn't do this because my wife and I are gonna do something for. I'll just tell you the truth here. Everybody thinks that my wife is so upset with me. When I told my wife what happened, I said, "Holy shit, I blew up. Everyone's taking your side, and they're saying all this shit." They're like, and her response wasn't, "Well, good, you should have bought the pumpkin." Her response was, "I don't know how you deal with all those negative people on the internet. They're just such. I don't like them. They're all just." Yeah. She took my side. Right. Everybody's taking
anything about that lady's crow's feet.
I
say that as I am aging like a fucking onion in the sun. I am like, dude, I have been aging rough. I look like I could be in a movie as that lady's uncle. Like, it's fucking bad.
I wish I took a screenshot of it. It was funny because my wife was in the room when I'm scrolling through the comments, reading everybody say, "I hate you, you're a douchebag," and I'm laughing. And I literally paused and went, "Holy shit." And then it was gone. Like, I swiped and I couldn't find it again. But there was literally a comment from a woman, like she looked like a teen. I could only see the thing, but she said, I don't remember exact. It's something about a guy, whatever she said, she insulted me. She said, "I don't see why we should be listening to a guy like that in his 30s anyway." And I was like, holy shit, you put me in my 30s? I love you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Spit on me all you want, as long as you say I look younger than I am. That's
exactly. Awesome. I wish I had a screenshot of her insult. "You're a douchebag, you old dude in your 30s. I'm like, thank you.
Dude, if somebody came
that.
Yeah. If she said to me, "Listen, you 35-year-old son of a bitch, comma, I don't care whatever comes after that comma." Like, great. Yeah. I'll sign the documents. I'll confess to whatever you said. I did.
Anything after that comma is moot. You called me 35.
Yeah.
I love you. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you.
See, that could be if we were in a police interrogation room. I don't think like threats or beating with phone book would work so good. All they got to do is flatter us with small trivial things.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, dude. You said on the confession, I can say that I am in my 30s. Great. I did it. Also, how big's my dick in this confession? Yeah. I'll sign off on that too. There we go. I'll start adding extra shit.
if I'm in a police lineup with the guys in their 30s and they say that we all look the same, yeah, I'm not going to be looking around going like, hey, but I'm older than these guys. It couldn't have been me. It should be someone in their 30s. I'm like, no, I could be guilty. I could be guilty. I fit right in. I mean, that guy looks 29 right there. I
Yep.
could have done it. He could have done it. We're the same. We could both be guilty.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's move on to real news because I get it. I don't know if the Daily Dot is a gossip site or just we make fun of like non-news sites before.
I confess to all the crimes done by the wrinkleless strangler. I don't shit. I didn't anyway. That was too.
I get where you were going.
Yeah.
The baby
if only we
face
had a
strangler.
time machine. I'm a little slow right now.
The babyface strangler. I admit that I could be the baby
face strangler. God damn it. Yeah. That's what I interrupted the next fucking story for. That
the next
blob
story.
of
I
a
was just
riff.
saying like we make fun of the idea, everything that's going on in the world. Everything that's going on in the world. This is what blew up on TikTok and made a news story. Awesome.
Yeah,
all right. Speaking of news that shouldn't be news, I will say this from the point, and you
from
can
the river to the sea, you should have picked up that pumpkin. Anyway, go ahead.
That would have been the goddamn closing tag you should have yelled right there.
Yeah,
That would have been, all right, thanks everybody. From the river to the sea.
Yeah.
You can make fun of me. The internet can make fun of me. Anyone can make fun of me for this. I will own it. I'm about to say what I'm going to say as a Kiss fan. I like Kiss. I like their early stuff. I like Kiss. Kiss unveils new version of the band as they bid farewell at the Madison Square Garden. Kiss is going virtual. They have they went into special effects booths and made holograms of themselves, and they're thinking of putting the holograms on tour. As a Kiss fan, who the fuck wants to see that?
No, that's pretty wild.
Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. I didn't see the holograms. I just saw people on a screen. Were they actual holograms on the stage? I just saw people on the screen.
Combination. There were people on a screen, and then they did something in the ether, like Paul's face. But the whole point is, what I thought I noticed, and I could be wrong, the audience didn't seem that enthused. They seemed to be talking and confused. Like usually when there's live audience sound, you hear people singing along and cheering. And this was sort of like, are we watching an advertisement right now? And then it ended and people cheered, but it was more like, I mean, they cheered for the end of the concert, but it didn't seem to like be the groundbreaking, oh my God, Kiss is going to be avatars. They're going to be virtual. This is great. I don't understand it. I don't want to see Kiss holograms. And I like Kiss. I'm saying that as a fan.
Well, I always pictured the holograms as like guys walking around on the stage, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do.
Okay. Would they unveil that? That's not what this is. This is a trailer for that. This is like a commercial for that.
I think it was it was. But so they showed a commercial at the end of their concert. I still don't want to see holograms though.
No, I mean, in terms of, I better be getting a hell of a lot cheaper ticket for holograms than real people. I can tell you that right now. I'm not paying real people prices for fucking robots and holograms and Chuck E. Cheese doll versions of Kiss. Like that's bullshit.
Especially because all their speakers and everything can be cardboard boxes. Like all they're going to do is play pre-recorded shit. So you just put up this. You got to build a stage, but it can't like Van Halen had that rider. We need brown M&Ms in our. Remove all the brown M&Ms, and then they would look, and if they were brown M&Ms, they say, okay, what else didn't they read? We have a big stage. It's a safety issue. Right. With this, you can set up a cardboard stage because nobody's going to be on it. Everything can be fake, and then you put these beams of light on it. Yeah, it should be cheaper. It should be like a $10 ticket. You got one trailer instead of 18 wheelers driving from city to city and all the labor of picking it up and tearing it down. You got one 18-wheeler and a guy that pushes a button on the red, green, yellow, old school high school projector.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, not only is your overhead lower, but I can imagine the demand is not going to be nearly as high for the hologram. There's nobody out scalping tickets in front of a hologram show. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. And
that horny guy from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is not standing in the arcade.
Stoner guy.
I got cheap tickets to a hologram show.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, you're right. I just fucked up. You're right. I think
What'd you say it was?
I completely fucked up.
Sorry,
It
no,
was
I cut
not
out. I
Sean
didn't
Penn. It
hear
was
you.
the guy that had sex with Jennifer Jason Leigh. I know what you're. I fucked that one up. You got it right. You got it right. It was the yeah.
Boom. Fast Times at Ridgemont High references on the
Yep.
ready. Why? Because I'm old enough to get all this Kiss talk.
Because
That's
you're in
right.
the 30s. We're both in our 30s. Well, at least
That's
I
right.
am. That's what the commenter said. All right,
That's right.
moving
But
on.
see, here's the thing: is people that are going to be into hologram shows for the most part, I would guess, skew young. And Kiss is not for young people. This is for old people, man. Like you have to be a little bit older to really get Kiss anyway.
I'm going to interrupt you. If anyone is interested in this, I'm going to call this the next stage of getting stoned and going to Pink Floyd laser shows at the observatory.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be a little fun to see a light show.
Yeah.
But you're watching a light show. It let's be honest, man. It's not a concert, it's a light show. I hate to sound like an old man, even though I'm still in my 30s, but this is
You're not going to go stand for this. You're not going to go stand and
no.
cheer because there's no return energy. It's a pre-recorded. Yeah, I don't get it.
If anything, here's what they should have done. Here's what they should have done. Now
retired. That's what they should have done. Retired. Anyway,
I disagree. Yes and no. Yes and no. Here's the thing. This was their last show that they were doing this, right? At the Garden.
Yeah.
They already had, so they had Gene and Paul up there in the makeup. They had two other guys up there in the Ace and who's the other one? Peter?
Well, Ace and Peter are gone. So the two other guys are Tommy and Eric, and they're wearing the Starman and Catman makeup.
Okay. Hear me out on this one. I say we create, here's the thing. Gene and Paul are still alive. They're just like, we want to go retire to our villa, except for when we're what? On concert. You know, these guys are wearing makeup anyway. You have body doubles. You keep the show going, but with body doubles that aren't really Gene and Paul. You already got two other guys being Ace and Peter, so just have two other, but just lie and say it's them. They're in fucking makeup anyway.
Paul and Gene gave interviews where they said we could just license the makeup, and they said there are like all sorts of Kiss tribute bands. Why don't we just do that? Maybe they wanted more control. I have no idea.
But you got to do it on the secret. I'm not saying like, hey, we're bringing to. I'm saying it's like, yeah, dude, they're still alive. They just don't want to do press conferences. Fuck you. They're old men. They've already put so much energy into that show last night. Did you see that? He's 97 years old and he did a cartwheel. You know, like just fucking really make it crazy. You get body doubles. You do. It's like, all right, he'll do the interview, but over Zoom, and then you use AI and all that shit. And I'm telling you. They should make this a conspiracy where Kiss is still alive, even though they're dead 40 years from now, and they're still touring. They're still touring in person, but it's four other guys in makeup.
And then you could get all sorts of rumors going back to the KISS stands for Knights in Satan's Service and how they're drinking baby blood in the bottom of Hillary Clinton's pizzeria, and that's what keeps them alive. Is the whatever it is QAnon believes that the Democrats extract from babies. KISS is doing that because they're all in on the government cabal. They're lizard people. Ooh. Lizard people live longer than humans.
I like the false flag conspiracies to dodge people away from he's like, no, Gene Simmons isn't dead. These are the same people who said that Gene Simmons was murdered by Hillary Clinton so that she could drink the tongue out of his blood, or out of the blood out of his tongue. Either way, like you do crazy stuff. You do like false flags and just steer people away from the actual conspiracy, which is Paul and Gene have been dead for decades, and we're just having a guy up there who is tall with a long tongue and plays bass. Because let's face it, you get
Derek
the long
Smalls.
tongue. Yeah, I'll even do a tongue extension. I'll even, you know what I mean? Fuck it. Most of these people are far away in the concert. You've already got, you've got makeup.
His
on
goes down
guys.
to his chin. I can't do that.
Almost.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I tell you I met Gene Simmons briefly in real life in the bathroom once?
No.
Yeah, dude. So I don't get starstruck much in Sirius, but this is one of those times, man.
Yeah.
Because you're used to seeing those guys like in the lobby and the fishbowl and stuff, but I'm in the bathroom and I'm the only one in there. I'm washing my hands and I just kind of look up in the mirror. The door opens behind me. In walks Gene Simmons right behind me. He's got the huge hair, sunglasses on, even though you're indoors, you're in a bathroom, you don't need sunglasses, but you're Gene fucking Simmons, so you kind of need them anyway. And he just kind of walks in, and it just caught me off guard. I just kind of spun around like, whoa. And he's like, hey, and I'm hello, and I'm like, hey, hello. I just kind of like froze. I'm like, hey, I just kind of repeated hi back to him. And so they play music at Sirius in the lobby, but it's also playing in the bathroom, right?
Kind of
The
like a
song that
comedy
was
club where you
playing,
can continue to listen to the jokes while you're pooping.
yeah, well, no, I mean they don't play stand up. They play
No,
like
I'm
music
saying
in the
at a
lobby.
comedy club. At a comedy club, there are a lot
Oh,
of
at a
comedy
comedy
clubs that
club.
have the
Okay, it
PA.
cut out.
Sorry,
I
I
missed
didn't
that.
make that clear. I said like comedy clubs. Anyway, I interrupted. Go. Sorry, that was
No,
bad.
yeah. So they play music in there, and they were playing "Things We Said Today" by the Beatles. And as I'm washing my hands, Gene Simmons walks over to the urinals and just starts singing loudly to "Things We Said Today" by the Beatles. It was an a cappella remake for an audience of one, and greatest remake I've ever heard. It was it
That's
was. I kept washing my hands for long enough that it wouldn't be like uncomfortable, and then I just left. But I'm like,
yeah.
dude, that was awesome. I got to see. I got to see the God of Thunder singing the Beatles. I got to see
That's
him
fantastic.
covering McCartney.
I got a story something like that. Same sort of. When I lived in Los Angeles, I worked for a location company for filming, and so I was, instead if they wanted to film, say an office, and they didn't want to build an office set on a sound stage, they would find a working office and then rent it, and then just put their people at the desks. And so I acted as a liaison for that. So, like you said, I saw celebrities all the fucking time. And, the first time you're like, oh, wow, that's, Jennifer Aniston, someone very cute in person, too. Very pretty, not angles. And, but you get used to it a little bit. So one day I'm told that I need to help not a director, a location guy do a scout. And I'm like, okay, I'll meet him at the building. And it's a building with a long lobby. And I am at one end at the security desk, and my group comes in and goes straight for the elevators. And I don't really see him. I just know it's my group because you can tell a film crew, like 5 people, you can tell. And I'm like, well, this is after 9/11, so the elevators are locked. You can't just take an elevator up a skyscraper anymore. So I'm like, well, that's my group. And I go walking toward them. And as I get there, my contact comes around the corner and says, oh, hey, there you are. Yeah, I got a couple people with me. I'm like, yeah, I see. I turn the corner, and a guy looks up and goes, and I turn the corner, and my guy goes, hey, this is Nathan. And the guy in front of me goes, oh, hi, Nathan. I'm George. And it's George Clooney.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm like, uh, hi. Like, again, I've seen a million celebrities, but when it's off guard and right in front of you, and he's addressing you like, oh, hi, Nathan. I'm George. I was like, hi, George, Mr. Clooney. It was just a cool little moment.
Weird. Yeah. I did not expect to see him in the bathroom. I definitely did not expect to hear Gene Simmons singing to the Beatles while taking a piss. That was
George
awesome.
Clooney did not sing to the Beatles.
All right.
This I love right here. This made me, first of all, I read her book. It's fucking weird and gross, but that's not why I'm posting this story. This is why we're not talking about it. I'm going to read you a headline, and then I'm going to read you the first sentence in the article. Headline: Mackenzie Phillips addresses Dad John's alleged rape and incest. First article of the story: content warning. This article discusses abuse and incest. I kind of got that from the headline. Your trigger warning came a little late. Your headline should be trigger warning, uncomfortable subjects ahead, because if you're triggered by incest, you got it from the headline. You put the trigger warning after the triggering words.
Right. What, you mean incest and rape wasn't the name of a fucking pumpkin bar? That wasn't a
I think it was the name of her book. Did you happen to read her book?
I did not know.
It's fucking insane. As it says in the article, she carried on a 10-year relationship with her dad. Both of them started when she was 19. They were both severe alcoholics or heroin. I don't remember. Lots of drugs involved, lots of heavy drugs. And she wrote about it so weirdly normally, like, hey, I was out of my mind on drugs. What are you going to do? And you're reading it just like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be, but I just, again, not talking about the content.
Well, you know why it sounded so normal. I haven't read the book, But here's the thing. I used to work at Sirius with a guy, Alan Light. Shout out to him. He writes a lot of like music biographies and stuff with the musicians, because a lot of times people who are, actors, musicians, whatever, like
they have no talent, their skills.
Well, I mean, for the most part, that's true. But specifically in the area of like writing, they're really good singers. They're not necessarily also the best authors. That's two very different things. So a lot of
interrupt
times
you for 1 second.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you see a brilliant, beautiful actor winning an Oscar and they give the most awkward, stupid, shitty speech ever, as like if they are not inside a character being given words to say and they're just themselves, like, hey, I want to thank my agent. And like, there's some that give great speeches, but you've seen a million actors give shitty speeches. And you're like, yeah, if they're not wearing an actor's cloak, they're yeah.
Yes, that is a perfect example. I want you guys to Google bad Oscar accepting speeches, and that now imagine that same awkward dude
writing a book.
Just typed a book that's 500 pages long. What the fuck is that going to read like? Probably not great. So what they do is they'll pair them up with an actual like author. This is somebody who is a talented author and went to school for it, has a ton of experience. So you write some stuff and they'll rewrite it in their kind of authory tones and words, and they'll give you recommendations that, hey, maybe we do this part before this part, maybe we,
or they'll just ghostwrite it.
Here.
They'll take the story
right. Yeah,
and work it out.
Perfect. So what I'm saying is this lady who is, I forgot who she was. She was like an actress, right?
She was on, her claim to fame was One Day at a Time with Valerie Bertinelli.
Okay. So it'd be weird.
Which we don't recognize because we're in our 30s. That's before our time.
Right. So it'd be weird if she had really, really good talent when it comes to acting, and then also the talent of Stephen King in this completely other non-related field. It's like sometimes you get the Bo Jacksons who are amazing baseball players and amazing football players and do them both highly at the professional level. For the most part, it kind of turns out like Michael Jordan playing baseball. Yeah. That's where they're like, hey, maybe just, have this person work with an author. So there's a good chance that she could have been like, oh my God, and then this happened, and this happened. And she wrote it to the ghostwriter, like sounding like, oh, fuck. And then the ghostwriter was like, 'twas the best of times, 'twas the worst of times. I was on top of the world, making lots of money as I was on top of my
father.
Yes, well, also howling and committing incest with my father.
You know who didn't use a ghostwriter? That I can think of, two people. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. His book, it reads exactly like he talks. It was fucking incoherent. And David Lee Roth from Van Halen, just like, yeah, I try. I'm just like, you need someone to come in and punch this up. This is not.
They should have called Alan Light.
Should have called
instead,
Alan
they
Light.
were like, let me do another key bump and write 527 pages of something I've never done before. And it was like, it would have been like watching someone's first open mic, but for an entire headlining set.
All right. Next story. Oh, our favorite guy is back in the news. Hunter Biden is indicted on 9 tax charges, adding to gun charges in a special counsel investigation. No trigger warning on this one. Hunter Biden was indicted on 9 tax charges in California as a special counsel investigation into the business dealings of President Joe Biden's son intensifies against the backdrop of the 2024 election. He's going to be found guilty of something. Like you talk about the one line he didn't cross during his crack cocaine fueled addiction was incest. The closest he came was having sex with his dead brother's wife.
Up next to it, dude.
Yeah, his dead brother's wife. He was kissing cousins, so to speak, to incest. But
all right, maybe if we're playing darts, it's not incest. But if we're playing horseshoes, that's incest as fuck, dude. Just say it. Like, it's not like he just dated her for a bit. He married her and then died, man. This is still the category of porn that they'll type in Pornhub to get around like the sort of incest.
The Brady Bunch shit. The stepsisters.
Here's the story of a guy named Hunter who had a really fun job in Ukraine. And then along came a crack dealer.
I'm never going to get over playing darts. It's
and
not
his
incest.
brother's wife.
That's going
to Biden. Yeah.
Darts, it's not.
Just totally incestuous.
Jesus
That's right. That's right.
How many of these? I can't even go back to the topic. How many of these do you think he's going to be guilty on? I'm sure he's guilty of all of them. He's because he was so fucked out of his mind. He's guilty of all of them. I don't care. I'm not like, neither one of us is a right wing, like, yeah, fuck Hunter Biden. It's
no,
just
in fact, if anything, no, I'm rooting for the guy. He's doing everything I would do if my dad was the president. It's sort of one of those things. Like, there's certain diseases that are better if you have money. If, let's say, you've got really rare forms of cancer, really good to have $1 million. If you kind of like drugs and booze, being the president's dad and having some guy in Ukraine going, here's a bunch of rubles and a country that can be paid to not talk about anything. Go fucking nuts. Like, I'd be dead. I'd be, you know what I mean? I'd be doing all kinds of crazy shit.
You weren't even rich. You took dog medications.
Right. I didn't, dude. I went full on Hunter Biden with dog medication. Are you fucking kidding me?
For anybody that's listening, is there Jake took dog meds when he was whacked out of his mind and just looking for more drugs to take, and it sort of sent them over the line just for a bit. The paramedics had to help him out.
I flatlined when I was like 15. I was in a coma for 3 days. Yeah, I flatlined 3 times. I was in a coma for like 3 days. Now I took a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? There was like Valium and OxyContin and stuff like that. They probably did the heavy lifting, but I also there was just another orange prescription bottle. So it's like, I wonder what's in this, you know? And they were like, that's for a dog, you idiot. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, you know? And I took it. I remembered the name of it at the time, and then somebody looked it up, and it's for some gland that humans don't even have. So and I don't think even that really affected me that much. Although I do have a leg fetish specifically. You know what I mean? Like, I like a woman's calves. I like to just hump the leg, and then I'm good.
Yeah, some guys are. I mean, there are leg men out there, but you're like a leg man. You're
That's
like
right.
Only leg. All right, let's bang out a couple of these.
I like to eat peanut butter out of weird places on women. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, this I thought was funny just because I saw the thumbnail. You only got the story. I saw the thumbnail, and it looked different. Foreign tourists, $50,000 watch stolen in Las Vegas, trick roll. The first thing you see is the mugshot. I thought that was the tourist for a second. Then you scroll it. A woman with a history of prostitution-related arrests in Las Vegas is facing new charges. Basically, she goes up to a hotel room's guy, a Chinese tourist, and then steals all his shit. My favorite part is down here, the use of an interpreter. The victim told police he met the 2 women around 5 a.m. when he accidentally bumped into them, felt bad, and invited them to have drinks in his hotel room. You were buying a prostitute. You didn't meet these 2 women and feel bad for them. Oh, come back to my hotel room. I feel so bad for you. Bought a hooker. You got robbed. Own it.
It's kind of tough, man. There's no good way to tell the cops that you were banging a hooker. Before you get on this guy's case, I think of a better excuse. I can't, I can't think of a good reason to where the cops are like, dude, it's a good thing you paid that woman $250 to go into your hotel room. You know what I mean? Like,
I suppose, yeah. I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of anything like they said their cell phone was dead. Mine was dead. They needed to use the hotel phone. I'm drawing a blank.
The only better excuse is listen, my dad's the president and I needed help fixing this laptop. Like, that's the only good excuse, I think, for paying a hooker all that money to go into your hotel. And I believe him. I hope he's found innocent.
I'm so jealous of Hunter Biden. I mean, yeah, dude. Not for the brother's widow part, but all the strippers and hookers he got pregnant. He got a stripper pregnant. I mean, he got to have sex with so many women. And but
he did it in Ukraine. Not only will they abort the baby, they'll abort the stripper. They don't give a fuck there.
Well, I was going to say the only sad thing is he doesn't remember any of it. I mean, if you're going to have stories like that, you should at least remember them. I mean, if you're going to do wild, fucked up things, you want to be able to tell your grandkids about them someday.
Well, he knew he had a laptop filled with photos for his grandkids. You know what I mean? But some fucking right wing asshole who was supposed to be fixing it, by the way, he fucking snitched like a Nancy Reagan cunt. And now he's
computer repair shops sign NDAs. Come on, I'm on the computer repair shop, guys.
Where's your integrity
does he
and
sign
honor,
an NDA?
sir?
Does he?
What is everybody who takes a laptop to you Mitt Romney? Are they a fucking Mormon saint? No, stop it.
2 minutes. Our
Hashtag
second
free
favorite
Hunter.
guy after Hunter Biden. Elon Musk demands Bob Iger be fired after Disney pulled ads from X. I gotta admit, I kind of love this weird spiral Elon Musk is on. I don't even want to call it a downward spiral because I don't even know what he's doing. First, he goes on stage and says, "Are you trying to bribe me with money? Fuck you." I thought that was brilliant and beautiful. But he also tells people that when Twitter fails, it will be their fault because they hate free speech.
Dude, here's the thing. They're being like Disney and all these guys. They're mad.
Walmart, Apple,
yeah. They're mad because there's like white supremacy Nazi shit on Twitter, and they're not even saying kick all the Nazis off. They're just saying don't put Frozen 3 right next to a guy fucking Zeke hiling a cartoon green frog or whatever. Like they're being pretty reasonable about this whole thing.
I don't even know that I think they're saying that, but they're also saying, hey, Elon, and maybe don't retweet or say that is absolute truth. Or maybe you say, I believe in free speech and these people can say these wrong-minded, hateful, anti-Semitic, evil, racist things, sexist. You as the CEO, maybe don't retweet it or agree with it.
Don't put brought to you by Carl's Jr.'s right after your replacement theory fucking retweet. Yeah, that's insane, man. That's insane. They're making the most reasonable requests I've ever heard out of like big corporate advertisers. Just don't put our shit next to your white supremacy shit. I bridge too far, apparently. And
but according to him, Iger should be fired immediately. Representatives from Disney had not responded. Oh, we got 30 seconds left. That's the one thing I forgot I wanted to say. Oh, I don't want to bring. So going all the way back to where we started, this article, did you read the end of the article that was about me, about the canned pumpkin thing? It said, we reached out to comedian Nathan Timmel for comment. They did, and I responded, and there's been no response since. So
what was your response? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom. It says, we reached out to Nathan for a commentary or a response or whatever. And that's how the article ends. I responded. It was in my Instagram. She said, hey, I write for this, the Daily Dot. Would you like, can I talk to you? I'm like, yeah, what's up? That's the entire conversation. And there's been no response since. So it's kind of interesting. Now, anytime I see, CNN has reached out for comment. MSNBC, Fox has reached out for comment. Anytime I see that now, I'm going to have to question it because, I'm opening right now. I'm doing all this clicking.
So they just said that you didn't comment back.
I thought, well, either way, because they reached out for me, but they haven't. I'm looking at it right now. According to Instagram, this person was active on their Instagram, the reporter, an hour ago. My email's been sitting there for several days. I'll have to read it again, but it said, we reached out to Nathan for comment but whatever it said, I have responded like, yeah, what do you want to ask me? And they wrote the artitle without input and I'm fine with it. It was a very even-handed article.
Journalists.
No, it was a very even-handed article. The article was, Nathan said this influencer said this. What do you think? It wasn't like Nathan said this, he's an ass. So I give the reporter reported even-handedly. So there's nothing wrong with it. That's cool. I just thought that was fascinating that they can legally say we reached out for comment. They didn't say Nathan has not responded, or maybe they said hasn't responded yet, but I thought that was fascinating. All right. Find Jake at Jake Vevra. Find me, nathantimmel.com. We're going to be dropped off in a second. Thanks for tuning in.
Hunter Biden turned the car around to buy his wife canned pumpkin when he was drunk in Ukraine. He's a saint.